assembly. Next, there's a table of contents and references the copy of the agenda that was posted on Friday as we're going through. And then, now it's our Director of Business Services and Operations, Dave Gerberding, to present the budget hearing information.
Thanks, Bruce. Welcome to the budget hearing. If you want to look along in your packet, I'll call out the numbered pages. Also, it's on the smart board. So we're starting on numbered page 5. This is our budget planning calendar. This has some highlights for our budget process throughout the year. This is also on our website. A lot of this information is on our website and will be updated once numbers become final throughout the year. The summary budget here includes all of the district funds. The leftmost numbered column is audited from 22-23. The middle is unaudited from last year, and then the budget for 24-25. This budget is a snapshot in time that we talk about periodically throughout the year, throughout the budget building process. And actually this budget is where we were at in the August 19th meeting when we discussed compensation. That week I sent it to the paper and it was published on 8/29. So some remaining factors that will impact the budget, some of the biggest factors being the third Friday count coming up, the people count, and then the October 15th aid certification when we receive our final equalization aid number, and we get our final property value number as well, which will then determine our final mill rate calculation. So as I said, this is the summary. This was in the paper, the summary format, and the various funds in a summarized format, along with the final proposed levy by fund and the percent increase. The next few pages are the same thing but in detailed format. And like I said, this is a snapshot. This is as of early to mid-August. Here's our tax levy history. All of these charts and numbers are based on, like I said, the budget that you see for 24-25 and how the revenue limit calculation looks with everything that we know pending the October 15th aid certification and property value update. So you can see the school year, the equalized value of the district, the levy broken down by operations, debt service, and community service, the total, and the mill rate. The next chart shows the tax levy change by municipality, again by year, and then each municipality. At the bottom you have the estimated levy, the percent change over the prior year, and the equalized value change estimated over the prior year as well. Another graphical format for the overall tax levy 5-year history, mill rate history as well. And then our final slide is the outstanding indebtedness. We don't have any non-referendum approved debt. We only have referendum approved debt outstanding. You can see the two issues up here. And the numbers in green are the years that it becomes callable when we can refinance the debt. And that's the end of the budget hearing. Any questions?
Do you have to state your name and everything for a question also?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
I didn't go into detail, but I'm just going through this. Wade Scramstead, Somerset, the town of Somerset, township of Somerset. Just on these line items, I saw one thing in there that's sort of new, $140,000 for community service.
Yep.
That I haven't seen previously, so
Correct.
what is that for?
That's the Fund A, the Community Services Levy. And so the board has discussed levying this year for a combination of the school resource officer and middle school athletics and activities. And that amount is $140,000 in that levy. That's included in the total bill.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Danny Erickson, Somerset Township. Let's see, I had a question under the community service fund on page 7. In the unaudited, that number is on the line revenues and other financing sources, $491,357.24. I'm just wondering what makes up that revenue number, and then what is the expenditure below it? $14,326.
So currently in the community service fund, and then, so audited 22-23, unaudited 23-24 last year. That has been primarily kids club and school age care. Historically, we've also had some years, some community ed, but right now, this is, up until now, it's kids club.
Marie Colbert, Town of St. Joe. Can you explain to me the revenue increase, the third line there, how the revenue is going to increase from the 23-24 to the 24-25 or 24-25? That third line there, what increased that revenue?
Yeah, so this all ties together, Marie. The 140 right here,
Yeah.
Fund 80 levy.
Oh, so that's added as a
It's an
revenue,
additional revenue there, yeah.
not an expenditure? Because I thought you said a resource officer, so that's an
Also
expenditure.
expenditure, yes.
So you're just moving it from a previous space?
From Fund 10 to Fund 80, that's correct.
Thank you.
Under the proposed tax and levy on page, is it in the detail? That's what my page number sounds like. Taxes are $7,554,341.44 in the detailed budget. But in the proposed property tax levy, it doesn't match with $7,087,014.
Yeah, the summary budget has the actual levies broken down by fund. That's here. And then those match into the charts, and that matches also in the annual meeting action item.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, Dave. At this time, we'll move into the annual meeting. We'll be asking for a variety of motions during this meeting. Anyone can make a motion, but when you do, please read exactly as written and state your first and last name along with your municipality for each motion you make. Our first task is to elect a chairperson. Is there a motion?
I, Lori Belargin, Somerset Township, move to elect Bruce Belargin as chairperson of the 2024 Somerset School District Annual Meeting.
Is there a second?
I, Lacey Oster, Somerset Township, second that.
Okay. Anything else? All right. Okay. Forward, so the next item is.
We have to vote.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Next is the teller. So is Is there a motion to elect a teller?
I, Lori Belargin, Somerset Township, move to elect Ian McDonald as teller of the 2024 Somerset School District Annual Meeting.
Is there a second?
Could you please share with us the teller's role or what his responsibilities will be?
Taking the minutes.
But to let everyone know.
Yeah, so they'll be taking the notes during the meeting with who makes the motion, the municipality, who was motioned, and who's second.
Yeah, I'll second that. Marie Colvin. Ian.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? All right. Okay, moving on, this time, on page 17 is the treasurer's report. Is there a motion to dispense of and approve the treasurer's report?
I, Lori Belargin, Somerset Township, move to dispense with the reading of and to approve the treasurer's report at Somerset School District Annual Meeting.
Is there a second?
I, Erica Johnson of Starbury Township, second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving to the next item. On the next page is the enrollment. This time Superintendent Dr. Shannon Donnelly will review the current enrollment numbers, strategic plan, and district calendar.
Perfect. So on page 18, you can see a little bit of a history in terms of enrollment. So our official September head count happens on September 20th. That's kind of the first official snapshot of the kids that we have coming back this year. Right now, the number you see under 24-25 is missing some information, as you can kind of see on the right there. I provided some definitions between what does head count mean versus pupil count. So we still need to add in information for students that have open enrolled in, potentially open enrolled out. So we kind of look at what we have right here under 24-25 as just preliminary. We'll get much more information after that September count. You can see that bottom snapshot there was the information I presented to the board a few meetings ago, just taking a look at district overall enrollment trends, continuing to go in the right direction, and we are hopeful and confident that that will continue for this year as well. Strategic plan.
A question, please.
Oh, sure.
The trend going, Marie Colvin, St. Joe, the trend going in the right direction being it's going down from what I'm seeing. Am I reading that incorrectly from the chart?
Right, so it's going up. So from COVID, big dive, for lack of a better word. So if you look at the bottom, those are the kids that we are down over the course of the last couple of years.
But from what I see, this year's tentative unofficial head count is down 25, 26 from 2023, 2024.
Right,
So
so after we do the
is
September head count, then I will have more
Is
information
down.
about where we kind of officially landed, whether, I don't know if it is or
But at
isn't
this
at this
time,
point,
the
because we
trend
don't
is
have all of the information for our open
Correct,
enrolled
but
in or
by
open enrolled
comparison to
out.
what it's been, it is down from what information we have here.
The information you have in front of you today,
Correct.
that's missing additional information.
It'll
Yep.
be trued up, not necessarily missing, it'll be trued up as you get more counts.
You want to use that verbiage? Sure.
I
Yeah.
prefer it.
Yep,
Yeah,
sure.
Thank you.
You bet. Strategic plan, we had, Alicia, we had the copy in there, I don't know where it went.
Oh, no, I
I
think
know.
it got smushed under.
So you can find it on our website, there's lots of resources there, entering year 2 of our strategic plan. Last year we tackled 10 action steps, this year we have 12. Within this week at some point, there'll be an additional document put on the website as well, thank you, Alicia.
Yeah, sorry, I missed it.
Outlining the steps that we worked on, the steps that we're doing this year, and then the steps that we have kind of slated for the next 3 years. So it's a 5-year plan, really kind of viewed as an overall improvement plan. The idea is after the next 5 years, being able to look back at the action steps that we've accomplished and our district being in a better place then than we are now, with tackling lots of things as we focus on what we're committing to students, to staff, to our operations and finances, and getting our community involved in what we've got going here. Then the last thing I have is just a quick look at our district calendar. You can kind of see, obviously, we've already moved through August and we are hitting September, but you can kind of take a look at what we've got going for the year in terms of when we're in, when we're out, different professional learning days, last day for students, those kinds of things. Much of this is dictated by not only our teacher contract days, but as well as things like state assessment, which is kind of a moving target every year. This coming year for the next school year, parents in the district will get actually a survey. It's been probably 4 to 5 years, I'm thinking, since we've done a survey, so we're gonna get some feedback just on things like placement of professional development days, kind of start of the year, end of the year, if people have some feedback about some preferences. So there's not a ton of wiggle room, but where we have some opportunity to get some feedback, we will do that. So parents can look for that late fall-ish, I would say. And that's what I have.
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Sure.
Marie Colvin, St. Joe. I'd like to see that strategic plan, if we could please back up there, Alicia.
Yeah,
If you
that-
could- if
sorry
you could-
that-
That's okay, if you
Well,
could
it was
blow
in
it
our
up.
first draft.
Yeah, it was,
We
and
lost
got-
it in
I think
the-
it got behind because there's like text boxes,
Yeah.
so that's
And I
my
think it's
fault.
great that you're sending out a survey. I'm really hopeful that that goes to more than just those that have actual students enrolled in the district. Is that what's going to happen, Shannon?
For the calendar?
No, the survey, is that all the survey's going to cover?
Nope, so the survey I was talking about was the district calendar in
Okay,
terms
so
of
you're
getting
not-
feedback.
You're not proposing a survey for more needs within the district or desires within the district, just for the calendar?
I was speaking just about the calendar.
Okay,
Yep.
Thank you. Is there any way to blow that up a little bit?
I know,
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's better.
maybe.
Because this is what the district is focusing on, correct? That's what the strategic plan is. So
Right.
can you roll it down just a little bit, please? I'm looking for anything that might say increased rigor to improve us academically, to better challenge or more academically challenge our kids. And maybe I'm missing it.
So those would be in the action steps. Yep, so that'll be on our website.
But if
Just
it's
kinda
not a
finish that.
goal or it's not a strategy.
Well, if you look under 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, those are all student-specific strategies. So if you're looking for like academic specific, you'd be looking at, so go back down, Alicia.
Well, I think-
1.1, 1.2 specifically, 1.1 is where that lands the heaviest, and then it gets more detailed within the action steps.
Thank you.
That's what I have.
All right, the next item we have is now approve resolutions. It will be on page 20 to 22. So we're looking for, please read the resolution in full. And motion and a second for each of those going forward. So the first one is authorization to acquire real estate. Is there a motion?
Ron Balerjin, Somerset Township. I make a motion that the Somerset School District is not authorized to buy any real estate.
I second that. Melanie Richards, Star Prairie Township.
Does anybody want?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was Tammy Wisher, Town of Somerset.
Yeah.
Was there any plans at all for the Somerset School District to be acquiring real estate within the next year?
I didn't think we had any plans to acquire real estate.
The only reason why I'm asking is it's just kind of a fail-safe thing for the board in case something were to come up, that they would be,
There's a motion on the floor now
Yeah, and this is
to decline
discussion.
it.
and this is discussion, so, thank you.
I would also like to add that in the past, we have had property that was designated into the Osceola School District, and it was put back in the Somerset School District. So there's a piece of land on the corner out by Race Lake Hill that had a old schoolhouse on it, and it actually belonged to the Somerset School District. So that piece of property was returned to the Somerset School District. It didn't cost the Somerset School District anything. However, passing this motion gives the school district the legal ability to take control of a piece of property if the need arises.
All right, so there's a motion.
Question.
Yeah.
Dave Holden, Village Somerset.
Yes.
So with this complex here, how far north does the school property in this development, our school property here go? Are we all the way to the north up to the water supply development?
I don't know exactly how far.
So the way I'm understanding it that we are, so we have less than a third of our property developed right now with our school system. So we have a lot of property to the north, so I don't know why I support the amendment, the motion by the individual behind me, but I wouldn't know why we would want to purchase additional property when we have what appears to be plenty of property for development for future schools as our community grows.
Okay.
I would add something to that. Kim Dunley, Village of Somerset. I don't know that that's accurate information of how a percentage of the property owned by the school district is already developed. So I think that that comment probably might not be accurate. So I don't think that people should understand that as they ponder how they might vote on this.
So I was
Okay. We'll take.
well, I got it
Just
right
hold on,
here,
just
came
hold
up on the
second.
village map, just to finish
Just
my question.
hold on, please, Dave. If you want to talk just a second, you could say your name, speak. I'm gonna go to Travis.
Travis Shockner, Township of Somerset. This resolution as it sits isn't about purchasing, it's about acquiring. So if someone were to donate land to the school district, they would be able, the school district would be able to accept that land. So if somebody were to will any land to the school district, they would be able to accept that land. If we don't have, if the amendment or whatever was presented, if the denial were to pass, we would not be able to accept any land that was donated to the school, correct? Because that would be acquired.
That's my understanding.
So
No, I think that'd be incorrect.
how would that be? Well,
Okay, all right, so we have a motion.
Given.
We have a
Yeah,
motion
that
and a
is-
second.
That is
given is
acquired.
So, hold on, please.
That is an acquired.
So I'm gonna call for a vote for the motion that is currently out there to not acquire any land. So I guess we'll just go with a voice vote on this. Motion to approve the current motion that states we will not acquire land this year. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
And do a hand count.
Hand count, hand
Hand
count.
count.
So, great, awesome. Okay,
That's
so
where
all
Ian
those,
comes in.
So I got a
What's
question,
that?
how do
Ian
you
is the teller.
verify that
Ian,
they're actually
okay.
taxpayers in Somerset?
so Ian's going to take a roll call or a head count vote of this. So all those in favor, please, of the motion, all those in favor of the motion as presented, please raise your hand and Ian will count.
What is this, the most current motion?
Yeah, the current motion.
In support of it?
yes.
That
Yes.
we will not acquire real
I
estate.
think we need better language on the acquired.
This is the standard procedure that Estes language, right?
27
28 with Danny.
28, sorry.
All right. All those against, raise your hand. Okay. Okay, so we'll,
Bruce,
yes,
Can I just add to my comment? There's 70 acres of undeveloped property to the north here. So if you look at our complex, room development inside of our complex still. But there is 70 acres of school property to the north here that's not developed as of yet.
Okay, all right, so we'll go to the next.
Question.
What was the
I just
vote?
have one question. Could we?
Well, we took a vote and we already.
I just want to add,
We took a motion.
I just want to add to Mr. Wallner's comment. Patty Schochner, Somerset, or Star Prairie Township. The gift that was given to the Nourishment School District was a farm. And that farm is being now this highlight of the Nourishment School District. And they just got the Wisconsin Teacher of the Year from their farm project, from land that was given to them, that we can accept.
I have just one request for next year. Could we have a clear, acquire is a questionable word. It doesn't have to always be written in this format, so maybe you could have a more clear one that would separate out gifting or purchasing.
Yeah. Okay. All right, next item, we'll move to, next item is to designate sites for district buildings and provide for the erection of suitable school buildings. Is there a motion?
Be it resolved that the Board of the School District of Somerset is authorized during the 2024-2025 school year to designate sites for district buildings and provide for the erection of suitable school buildings. Motion by Matt Foucault, Somerset Township.
Is there a second?
Ruth Harley, Town of Star Prairie, second.
Okay, motion is second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Direct and provide prosecution and defense of legal procedures. Is there a motion?
Be it resolved that this Board of the School District of Somerset is authorized during the 24-25 school year to direct and provide for the prosecution and defense of legal procedures. Sarah Acton, Town of Somerset.
Is there a second?
I, Eric Johnson, Town of Star Prairie, second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item is school board expenses. Is there a motion?
Be it resolved by the electors of the School District of Somerset that the Somerset School Board during the 2024-2025 school year shall be reimbursed for actual and necessary expenses for travel when required. Motion by Lacey Oster, Somerset Township.
Is there a second?
I, Louis Germain, Somerset Township, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item, approval of proposed 24-25 budget tax levy. Is there a motion?
I would like to make a proposal, a different resolution. How do we do that?
Just say
Just
it.
say it? Okay, Danny Erickson, Somerset Township, I would like to make the resolution to be it resolved that there shall be levied upon the taxable property of the school district of Somerset the tentative total sum of $11,313,269, which is $7,087,014, which is the general fund, Fund 10, and $4,226,200 for the debt service, $55,000 for the SRO, and 0 additional funds for Fund 80.
Very cool with that, I would second that. I like the clarity.
Any discussion?
Danny, can you, Lacey Oster, Somerset Township, can you please clarify what the difference between your proposal and the one that's indicated here would be?
Mine includes the debt service, which I think should be in this resolution. And also, Fund 80 is not the added to with additional dollars.
Would you please read it one more time?
Sure.
Can you put your thing
Should I read the whole
down?
thing? I would like,
Keep going.
I would like to make the resolution to be it resolved that there shall be levied upon the taxable property of the school district of Somerset the tentative total sum of $11,313,269, which is broken down into $7,087,014. That's the general fund, Fund 10. And then the second number is $4,226,200 for the debt service, $55,000 for the SRO, and 0 additional funds for Fund 80.
Okay. Are we ready for discussion now?
Yes.
Somebody for discussion.
Okay, so my understanding.
Say your name, please.
Oh, Lori Belarger in Somerset Township. So my understanding of your motion then, Danny, is although the board already had a motion several meetings ago to include middle school activities and sports in Fund 80, it sounds like you're taking that out. Is that correct?
I don't remember that motion. Do you know what meeting that was at? I know that Steve was pretty particular, and I know he's not here tonight. He was pretty particular about those things being separate. That the SRO was voted on, and it was, and that passed 6-1. But I know that he's been watching, you know, the middle school athletics, and he didn't want those two wrapped together and put into Fund 80 without people knowing about the middle school athletics.
We've discussed it at several meetings. I cannot tell you the dates off the top of my head.
I just don't remember a roll call vote on middle school athletics going into Fund 80.
Matt Foucault, Somerset Township. Can somebody from the district, is Dave here, to speak to if that was all wrapped into one tentative sum, if that changes the mill rate? Can anyone speak to that from the district?
I just wanted to make it a little tough because, you know, 11 million instead of 7.
I have a question, when he comes here, just why that 4 million for the debt service is not in here.
Why are we paying him to be in here?
It's not enough levies
So,
Yeah.
so just Wade's Grandstand, Somerset Township.
Yeah.
Are you referring to the table on proposed property tax levy on page 7 of this booklet?
I think so.
Yes. Yep.
That's right. I don't know what the formula is.
I mean, it's my understanding that the debt service is already figured in. It's not, this is a new budget for 24-25. I think that debt service is already figured into past budgets. So it could be doubling up on it.
This is Eric Johnson from Starberry Township. What would the new mill rate be then?
That was my question.
Yeah,
Dave's coming.
can you answer that with your proposal?
Hopefully.
How can we vote on it if we don't know the number?
Well, we'll see what Dave says.
Hey. What's the question?
Just wondering if you can explain why the debt service is not in the proposal for the budget tax levy for 2024-25.
You're asking the motion, why is it $1 amount and then a mill rate for all funds? That's how we've historically done it, that's our practice. So we list the Fund 10 levy, that's the operation levy, it says operation and maintenance. And then the projected all funds mill rate is also included as informational.
So this is levying for the debt payment, and
This motion is approving the operating levy, so Fund 10. The mill rate is informational. The projected mill rate shall be $6.68 per thousand. We won't know until we get through our final revenue limit calculation, once we get our aid certification, and also once we get our property values from the state. Both of those happen on October 5th. So this is from the snapshot of where we're at, and if you remember the bottom of the summary section that shows the fund levies, this is the Fund 10 portion. This is what is approved at this in this resolution.
So I'm sorry, may I ask a question, please? Marie Colvin? So you're saying, if I understood you correctly, the mill rate, the 668, is all funds?
Yes.
So in the way you worded that motion, you included all funds. The difference being, instead of just saying Fund 10, she has included all of them as an 11 million figure in her, you missed her motion.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with how she did it, but there is a difference because she's left out the 85,000, I think it comes out to, for the middle school athletics. That changes the mill rate slightly,
That would decrease the mill rate.
just slightly though,
Yep.
not much.
Dave, what
Is that
happens
what
if
your- And that was your intent, correct?
her proposal, there was to change the tax levy to 11 million and some odd dollars?
No, this 6.68 includes that 11 million. It's just reflected as in the past only being Fund 10, not all funds, whereas the mill rate reflects all funds.
So are we voting on the tax levy or the mill rate in this resolution?
The levy, the operating levy for Fund 10, that's what this is.
So if the operating levy was changed to 11 million like she proposed, what does that do to the mill rate? What does that do to this resolution?
But this doesn't spell out operating levy. Her motion didn't say operating levy either. It said levy.
Like she said, the tentative sum of 11 million some odd dollars for the purpose of referring to.
Can you reread, Debbie Blarge in Town of Somerset, can you reread that so that he has a clearer understanding of what you're getting to? Because I would like to know the difference of what we're talking about.
I'd like to make the resolution to be it resolved that there shall be levied upon the taxable property of the school district of Somerset a tentative total sum of $11,313,269, which is $7 million, well, the general fund, Fund 10, is $7,087,014. And then the debt service, which is $4,226,200. 55,000 for the SRO and 0 additional funds for Fund 80.
So you're capturing the operating levy and everything else, less that one portion. So, you know, that in my opinion, that fits what this resolution is doing. And the mill rate would just be less that tiny little bit. But the mill rate here is informational, so it doesn't have to be included in the resolution anyway, in my opinion.
However, if we pass this motion without including the cost of middle school athletics and activities in the Fund 80, as you've made the motion, Danny, it is, that dollar amount is not included in Fund 10. So if we're not including it in Fund 80, that means we will have no middle school athletics or activities, or at least we won't have the funding for it. So you're proposing that we do not have middle school athletics and activities?
So she could add that to the total for the Fund 10. Is that what you would like to do, Danny? You just amend your motion?
Yeah, so the motion.
I need to amend the motion.
Okay. Go for it.
It's 85,000 that you'd be putting back into Fund 10.
Right. I would like to make the resolution to be resolved, there shall be levied upon the taxable property of the, you know what, I'm gonna scratch that, I'm just gonna go with the right,
I think you did a nice job with it, clearly.
So there's a motion and a second on the table right now. Does that seem, Dave, from what you're saying, does that change anything? Is that any different than what we currently have, even though actually she said 11 million and it's 7 million on there? Does that change anything? Or should we bring it down to the, or I guess?
Sorry, there's hands. Oh, wait.
Joe Sadichka, Town of St. Joe. The 7 million that's in this resolution, you're actually levying 11 million something. Why is there a specific resolution saying 7 million referencing one fund? Why wouldn't it be a resolution encompassing the entire levy? Why is it broken out?
Good question.
Because that's, I think where the confusion is, it looks like somebody's trying to shift or hide something and say that you're not only levying 7 million.
Correct.
Correct.
So The debt service levy is referendum approved debt service, which is where the authority has already occurred to levy that amount. The Fund 80 levy is a board determination set on, in this year, October 21st at that board meeting. And so additionally, the Fund 10 levy, the $7,087,000 right now, will change. That's not final. That's the snapshot we're at as of August. So once we get our final information in October, then we'll calculate the final revenue limit, and then that'll show us the final levy for Fund 10.
Lee Wayne, Somerset Township. That's untrue, because at the last meeting I was at, you were standing there, Fund 80, you said the community and the board sets that. And it's actually at 45 minutes and 46 seconds is when that was set. So does the community actually have a say in the fund of Fund 80 on setting that amount?
This is where you have your say. This is the community's annual meeting. Yes.
So Fund 80, the community only gets to speak about what you can set in Fund 80 right now or in October?
Well, and also presumably at any school board meeting, or if you talk to your school board members. But
No.
They ultimately said it.
But you stated the community, you mumbled it in the board at 45 minutes and 46 seconds is how Fund 80 gets set.
Yeah, it's the community service fund. I'm not sure what you're
They,
trying to say.
the board asked you how much money is in Fund 80 and how it gets set. And you said it gets set by the community and the board.
Correct.
So it's a community fund, yes. But, so when does the community get to put their input in for the Fund 80 on how much is in it? Is it tonight?
I'm hearing a lot of input. It is tonight. It's when you get to vote. This is the annual meeting.
There's nothing here for any of us to vote on Fund 80. You know, here's your big overall budget, but nothing specific for Fund 80.
You're also
Matt.
giving your board feedback, and then
Matt.
they vote.
Matt Foucault, Somerset Township. Wouldn't it be correct to say that's your time to vote for a board member? The board has discussed it, the board members at this table discussed Fund 80. Those board members have all tried to come to the table with a clear understanding of what the community wants, and the board as a whole set that limit. Is that correct? We can't constantly chase that number based on the wants and the needs of the community every single month, right? We need to set a general idea of where those numbers land,
I'm not saying
and then it
every
comes
month.
back to this meeting.
He says in October it gets set for the year. So does that, when the community's gotta come in October then?
Well, the board
set?
voted on what that number should or could be. Whether or not we ever land there, the board did vote on that already.
So, okay, so again, we do have a motion and a second out there currently.
I just looking for some clarification. Are you back to this resolution as presented? Where's the middle school athletics piece?
Right now, we're still on the motion that Danny made because it has not been voted on yet.
Got it. So that motion takes out middle school athletics.
Correct.
Thank you.
But moves it. Doesn't take it out. It's gonna go to Fund 10 instead of Fund 80.
No.
It
No,
removes it.
no, there would be
She'd
no
have
middle
to-
school athletics.
She'd have to add it to
We'd
the
have to add it
fund.
later.
So that's where if you wanted to amend your motion, is that the cost of middle school athletics, 85,000? Do we have that documentation? Or,
Yeah.
Is that what it
We've had
was last
multiple
year?
discussions on it.
Does anybody know
I didn't hear your question.
what Fund 80 was budgeted at last year?
less, 140,000 less, because they put the SRO loss.
What, this is Eric Johnson, Starbury Township. Why don't we just vote on the motion,
Yep.
taking middle school athletics off the table?
No, hold on a second. Okay,
No.
so we do have a motion, so Danny has a motion presented, so I'm gonna call for a vote. Let's, all those in favor of the current motion, say aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Is there a new motion for this?
I would make a motion for Rehoboth, Town of St. Joe, exactly as Danny had it written, with the addition of 85,000 to the Fund 10 figure, that's $7,087,014 plus 85,000. And the clarification on, it includes the debt service of $4,226,200 and the SRO officer of $55,000, with no additional funds put into 80 at this time. But the middle school athletics are now in Fund 10.
Second.
And the SRO?
The SRO is separated, community, she said had separated that out, and I would leave it separated out in Fund 80. Sorry.
That's right.
Is there a second?
I see.
Does that make sense
Yes,
to
thank you.
everyone? Does
So you
that
wanna say
make
your name?
sense?
Danny Erickson, Somerset Township,
So-
second.
Okay.
Bruce, does this put everything then, even though we have a big word salad, back to what we started with?
No.
No. So, we're putting 11 million, so the 10 is some 11, does it matter if we change it from 7 to 11, Dave?
It's
You're talking
covering
about
the
the
same
total amount.
thing.
Yeah, the total amount.
I have a question. Is it that the operation and maintenance is going to be the 11 million? How was that worded? Because now we just gave ourselves a $4 million pay bump for operation and maintenance.
I'll read it again, because obviously there's some confusion. The way it has been done in the past, they've only put in the resolution the Fund 10 amount. When we levy the taxpayers, us, it's the total amount that's levied, which includes your debt service. That total amount is what Danny and now I want to include in the resolution with the two breakdowns. Fund 10, $7,087,014 plus $85,000 for the middle school athletics, and the debt service of $4,226,200 and an SRO officer of $55,000. Those are all included in the projected mill rate of 6.68 per $1,000, which is already in the language proposed there. So it's already there. We're not increasing it, we're not decreasing it based on what's proposed here. It's just giving it greater clarity.
Any other discussion?
Travis Shockner's Township of Somerset. I am confused by the confusion. Okay, so the total amount of 11 million includes our debt services that we actually don't, like, that's already been approved. That is
Correct.
why it is not a part of this language, right?
No,
It is, the 7 million is what is our operational budget year to year. We have no control over we, as this group of people, have no control over that debt service because that has already been approved.
correct, but this is not approving that. It's saying it's going to be levied.
Yeah, that is going, yes,
All of it is-
that is the levy of our
But it's
operational
all
budget.
going to be levied.
Yeah.
It's nowhere in there does it say operational budget.
Yes, it
Yes, it
Not
does.
in that one, it
Operation
does not, not in the
maintenance.
one I said. It did not. I did not leave on there the purpose of defraying operation and maintenance.
No, that's my point, is that this, as it was presented, specifically points to operation and maintenance, which we, I don't know what we're called right now, it's a Monday. Our collection of people here, we have control over that 7 million because that is operation and maintenance. The debt service was already approved and is not considered part of anything.
Well, then
Because
why-
it is, that is debt service that has already been approved.
Then why are we including the projected mill rate? Because that includes that debt service in it.
But as he said, that's just informational. We're gonna be around that. The main thing is it's all tentative sums. We're still waiting on more information to come, but these are best guess estimates for where we're at now.
But the mill rate of 6.68 includes 4 million, so it should be in here.
But that will get adjusted based on the counts, the figures. It's an estimate.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Yes, I'm sorry, Lori Belargin, Somerset Township. So Marie, when you made your motion,
Yep.
did you include the number of the 11 million?
I did include the number of
Okay, so you
11,313,000
added 85,000
to
to
the
the-
Fund 10, which we could add the wording operation and maintenance. I could amend it to include that right after the
My
7
point
million.
is that when you added 85,000 to the 7 million,
Mhm.
you no longer have 11,313,000.
Yes, I do, because I took it out of the 140,000. Community Fund 80. It was at
She didn't
140,000.
say.
Yes, we did. It was 45 and it went down to 55. It was projected at 140,000 in the budget.
When
Dave talked about
Danny
it.
made her first motion,
Yep.
and she came up with this 11,313,000.
Oh, I thought you
She
took
was
the total.
only adding what she was making the motion for.
So I would need amend my motion to include the 85,000 added to that 11 million. I'm sorry, I thought that was taken from the total that he was.
Hold on a second.
The
Ian,
total
what do you
number.
have as your motion right
It's being amended still, right? It's going to be a total of $11,453,214. Right? But we've taken 85,000 from the Fund 80 portion of it that we're really not supposed to be addressing right now, and added it to Fund 10, and it's still in the levy bill.
Yeah, so the total dollar is the same, it's just you're moving it from Fund 80.
That's what I thought too.
Yes.
That was my understanding.
What was that, sorry?
Why was it ever in Fund 80? Why was it in there?
Dave, would you like to address that?
What's
Why
the reason?
was middle school athletics in
Yeah.
Fund 80?
Yeah, why would that be separated out into Fund 80 instead of being in Fund 10?
So during the budget process earlier in the year, the school board asked us to look at different ways to increase the ability in Fund 10 to pay for various things. One of the things that we talked about was the use of Fund 80 in some districts. Some districts have been moving middle school athletics to Fund 80. Some districts look at their school resource officer and say, this is a community service. And so we talked to DPI and they said, yeah, those things, if your school board supports that and your community supports that, then it's permissible to do that. And by moving that cost from the general fund to Fund 80, that's a different funding source. And so then there's more room in Fund 10 to do other things.
Such
Does that make
as,
sense?
such as pay our electric bill, our heating bill, our transportation.
All other operations.
So,
costs.
was there anybody in this room that thought that middle school fund, athletics funding was a community service?
It's open to all community kids of that age is the approach or thought process.
So every other activity the school does?
No.
No.
And so you can't move high school athletics there, for instance, because that's WIAA. And we did look at a wide range of options for Fund 80 that many districts in the state do as a tool to change what we do and free up space in Fund 10. And there aren't a lot of options here in Somerset that we came up with. So again, over multiple conversations and board meetings, we asked, well, what do you think of this? What do you think of this idea? And this is where we ended up through the budget process. That the board said we would like these things in Fund 80 so that that space is freed up in the general fund. But that's not officially determined until October.
Okay, just seems odd to be putting it there when it's not, doesn't really seem like what it's meant for, right?
Well,
Matt
here, there's
Fugel, Matt Fugel, Somerset Township. It's because it's available to all students or all kids in the area. So it could be homeschool kids, it could be St. Anne's kids that can still attend and participate in middle school athletics.
Okay.
In high school, they can't.
Well, that makes
So
sense.
the school district can't support those other kids and pay for uniforms and busing and events if they don't attend our district. So it was a way to ensure that they can all participate, even though they don't attend our middle school.
I have a question, follow up on that. Don't the taxes that people pay already cover their kids participating in those sports?
I guess, Dave, you'd have to, Matt Fugel, Somerset Township, those numbers would fall under enrollment, correct? So if, just because you live here and pay taxes, but you don't have a student enrolled, no?
There's lots of mechanisms to fund it. This is a mechanism to move expenditure from Fund 10 to Fund 80 because it's a different revenue source. That's the purpose. That was the discussion. straightforward explicitly, that's the purpose, that's the reason it was discussed, and that's the reason that we proceeded in this way, that was our direction.
Lori Ballard in Somerset Township. Dave, do you happen to remember which specific meeting the board gave you the direction to move in that fashion?
I remember various meetings where you would have said, for instance, investigate every option. And when I would come back with a budget, I would say this would be inclusive of this or that in the general fund or in Fund 80. And those were the things that we approved. That was ongoing discussion. And my recollection is that we were pretty clear about that.
So, Bruce Ballard, Somerset Township, Somerset. So I don't know if we ever actually made a motion to approve moving middle school athletics to Fund 80.
Correct.
It's not needed. It was just a vote in October to increase the amount going to Fund 80. In all the meetings that we've had with Dave, as the update, he has presented and told us every time, this Fund 10 is with moving middle school athletics to Fund 80 as recent as our last meeting in August and the previous one, and even in July, I think we had the same discussion about that money was moved to Fund 80. So our Fund 10 where we just gave raises and where we, whatever we funded, just recently, the last meeting was showing that we had moved fund, the middle school athletics to Fund 80.
That's correct, and we started with a placeholder of 150,000, and now it's 140,000. That's the estimated cost for those programs.
Yeah, Matt Fugel, Somerset Township, and that meeting took place, it was the meeting that happened in the multi-purpose room. It wasn't specifically, a number wasn't specific to the SRO, it was to those items that the board had discussed, and it was that total sum that the board approved 6-1.
It was just for the SRO.
It was not just for the SRO.
It's a sum.
There was no final dollar amount, it was the meeting in the multi-purpose room in July, whatever
July
date that was.
15th.
That was the meeting that took place, it was a 6-1 vote.
No total sum of.
It was a total sum of, I believe, 150,000, does that sound correct?
That's where we started.
That it would not exceed 150,000.
I'll have to look back on that.
There was not a specific line of
Okay.
what each dollar went to.
So we have a motion, and we have a second, and we've had a lot of discussion. I'm gonna call for a vote. All those in favor of the current motion made by Marie, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Ian? Okay, all those in favor of the motion currently on the table, please raise your hands. All those opposed, raise your hands. Okay, so we'll move forward with that motion as presented.
What was the vote?
29 nay, 20 nay.
Okay, the next item on here is policy on the disposal of unwanted equipment and supplies. Is there a motion?
Question before the motion. What do we do with our excess items that we don't use anymore? Do we put them at the Wisconsin auction? What's the school policy on that?
If we're reselling, we use the Wisconsin online surplus auction. Yep.
Okay.
Just wondered because, you know, it just says.
Please state your name and your,
Louis Germain, Somerset Township. The only reason is because the clarity on this, you didn't know where it was going, how it was up for auction or anything. Was it the school website, where would someone look, That's the main thing. If it's going to Wisconsin surplus, like everything, all the other municipalities around here, okay, that's fine. So I'll make a motion to accept. What is it?
Read it as it states.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of Somerset, District of Somerset is authorized during the 24-25 school year to sell and dispose of tangible personal property belonging to the school district that is determined by the administration to be no longer needed for school purposes.
I'll second the
State your
motion.
name, please, and municipality. Rouge, Maine.
I did state my name, Louis, when I started.
Who seconded?
Who seconded it?
Yeah, who seconded?
Dave Wallner, Village.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, school board salaries, is there a motion?
I, Patty Shockner, Star Prairie Township, be it resolved by the electors of the Somerset School District of Somerset that all board members will receive $70 per meeting in which they are in attendance.
Second by Tammy Wishart, School District, Somerset Township.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Tammy Wishart.
2025 annual meeting date, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion, Marie Colbert, Somerset, or Town of St. Joe. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the School District of Somerset is authorized to hold the 2025 annual school district meeting on Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the, I'd like it to be in a larger room. So I'd like to change that from the District Learning Center to multi-purpose room, somewhere larger. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry, that shouldn't be in the motion, excuse me. 7 p.m. in the multi-purpose room, according to section 120.08 and Wisconsin statutes.
Is there a second?
I second that, Michael Lasser, Somerset Township.
Any discussion?
Lacey Oster, Somerset Township. In the past, last year, there was one community member in attendance. The year before that, it was 0. So just in response to that, if that is the case.
We've had them, I would say, a year from now, our auditorium will be done. We need new space. I would suggest not the NPR, and let's use our auditorium. This turnout's great, so let's put our good
So I
spaces
would
to
amend my
use.
motion to include, have it be the auditorium. Mike, do you want
Mike,
to?
I second that.
Thank you.
Amendment, okay. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Bruce, can I make a quick comment for the adjournment? Okay, Matt Fugel, Somerset Township, can I get clarification that someone ensures everyone signed in to that form, being we had hand count of votes? In the event that numbers don't match, I would like an actual record of who was here tonight. So I haven't seen it come to me, the clipboard, just sign in. That's all.
Question on that, Katie Scrimstead, Somerset, there were people that abstained from the vote, so if you're gonna take that as an accurate count, we did not count those that abstained.
As
Just
Lori Belargin, Somerset Township, I think the concern is that if there are more votes than there are people in attendance, not if there are fewer.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I, Lori Belargin, Somerset Township, move to adjourn the 2024 Somerset School District annual meeting.
Is there a second?
I, Debbie Belargin, Somerset Township, seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yay.
All right. We're at 8:05.
Did I lose?